Happy VA Wednesday. So today we're going to talk about what to do if you feel like you're being gaslit by your real estate agent or your mortgage lender. Now, look, are there lots of great real estate agents and mortgage lenders out there? Yes, of course. So you should never be afraid of them. But sometimes you may find yourself in a situation where what they're telling you doesn't sound right. And it's really important that if you're in that situation to do a couple things. So first of all, I want to tell you what inspired this video. I got a text last month and it literally was, "Hey Jen, I watch your videos. I'm currently in contract. The house has black mold, but the real estate agent and the lender are telling me I have to buy it. What should I do?" I called immediately because I was like, what? Look, as a lender, like that is nothing an ethical lender is going to be encouraging. Same with real estate agent. Like airborne black mold is serious. Do a little deep dive and you'll see that. And, I'm talking to her and she's telling me all this stuff. And I'm like, they did what? They said what? She's got the receipts to prove it. I'm seeing text messages from the real estate agent where they literally said it's normal for a house to have black mold. And then they had links in Amazon to mold products, right? I'm like, where did you find this agent? The lender. Okay, so I look up the agent. The agent's been in business less than 6 months. So, do I think they have a long career ahead of them? Absolutely not. But okay, so who's the lender? Now, this is what was interesting. The loan officer themselves does a ton of business, not in the VA space, but just because someone does a lot of business does not mean they're ethical. And, a consumer would never know this, but as a lender, I saw the name and I was like, oof, right? Because there's already been lawsuits against them for other behavior that was inappropriate. So I do think it's a good idea to Google your loan officer, see if there's any lawsuits. I do think that it's a good idea, no matter who recommends the real estate agent, to research them and make sure it's someone you would have chosen. Because a lot of this is from ignorance and some of this is from lack of ethics, right? The real estate agent, was she ignorant or unethical? I don't know. If I look at the two careers, I've got a lender here who's been in business for a very long time and I've got a baby agent. If I'm working with a baby agent, I'm going to be guiding them. If they say, Jen, I'm going to send them Amazon links, I'd be like, are you on drugs? Like what drugs? Are you sniffing the bleach? What? No, that's not what we do. So I would argue in this case, the lender should have been stepping in more than they did. And the lender had information that they should have been disclosing and conditioning on that they didn't. So just because a lender does a lot of business doesn't mean they're always going to act in your best interest. Anyways, so she's telling us how they're pushing her to buy the house. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. And she's like, I want to get my earnest money back, but they're saying I can't. And based on the way they have it right now, she can't, because they're all pretending, she's saying this house has black mold. Here's the report. Here's proof. And they're like, la, 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 la. We don't see it. We don't have a copy, right? Which is not the way to do this. So anyways, so I talked to her and CJ gets on the phone because CJ runs the back end and we talk about everything they're going through. Here's what it basically came down to. CJ sent her a link. She was able to upload the mold report directly to VA. VA then added a condition that the house was going to have that repaired. Otherwise, it didn't meet financing guidelines. The lender should have done that. Okay, but they didn't. So she was able to go to VA. Great. Then, they're like, okay, well, the seller might do the repairs. Well, guess what? The house isn't going to close unless they do, and the buyer doesn't want the house anymore. So they're like, well, you won't get your earnest money back. So she calls the VA Regional Loan Center. And that's important for you guys to recognize that, because if you're like, Jen, I don't even need to check with you. What they're telling me is BS. Call the VA Regional Loan Center. They will give you the verbiage. They will guide you. They will tell you like, yeah, that's messed up. Or no, it's not. And help you get to where you need to go. In this situation, the deal's canceled. She got her earnest money back. But had she not had the foresight to go, this doesn't feel right, and take the chance of reaching out, she could have lost her earnest money. She could have ended up buying the house. But it's one of those things that you need to know that you've got a couple resources at your disposal. So look, I'm here. I'm licensed everywhere but Utah and Rhode Island. If you're one of those states, I have a friend that can look at it and be like, yeah, no. But will tell you if something's wrong. Like, I'm always gonna be like, yeah, that makes sense, or no, it doesn't, because I know as a buyer, you guys don't have the information, you know, and you don't know what's real and what's not. And unfortunately, we're in an industry where the mortgage lender and the real estate agent only get paid if you close. So there's a misguided incentive in that sometimes, where if you don't have the most ethical people, it can work against you. So yeah, reach out, 786-933-2077. We're happy to say like that's normal or it's not. Okay. The next thing is, if you're like, Jen, I don't like you. Okay. It happens. The VA Regional Loan Center, you know, if you Google that, there's going to be one in your area. You don't have to go in, just call in and say, hey, this is what's happening and it doesn't feel right. Now look, the VA Regional Loan Center, when she told them what was happening, were they as outraged as I was? No, they weren't. They said it was wrong and they told her how to fix it. But if you're going for that dramatic response, like, yeah, that's probably more me. So if you're expecting them to be like, not their vibe, right? But just know, don't accept what people tell you. If it feels wrong, it might be wrong, so check with an expert. We don't charge for this, so use our knowledge to your advantage, because the last thing I want is a veteran losing money or a veteran being pushed into a house that's not a benefit for them. So I hope this video was helpful and hopefully not too long. Thanks for watching.